Good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to this week's Weekly Energy Boost. I am thrilled to be here today with Eitan to share with you the Kabbalistic secret behind the power of giving. And this comes at a beautiful time, not only in the course of this month or the way this week falls, but also in the time of year that we're in, where Kabbalistically speaking, giving is actually a tool to grow and increase the amount of blessings we experience in our lives. And we'll talk about that today as well, too. Weekly Energy Boost is a 7-day spiritual weather forecast where we provide our listeners with the most powerful and practical tools to navigate the coming 7 days. We do that by poring over the wisdom of Kabbalah and extracting the lessons and the tools that can best help you take advantage of this week's opportunities and best help you avoid the pitfalls. But inevitably, every episode offers powerful wisdom and tools for any time. And this, again, it's no coincidence, and we're now about to enter the month of Pisces, which traditionally, or I guess it's not really tradition, Kabbalistically speaking, we increase our giving in the month of Pisces, in the month of Adar, as a means of expanding our vessel and drawing greater blessings in our lives for the entire year. Obviously, giving is a value. It's something that I think a lot of us, especially in the US, but obviously in other countries as well, to be a good person, you have to be a giver, you have to be kind, you have to take care of others. And so bringing this into the conversation where we've just been discussing how important it is for us to follow our intuition, to be honest and truthful with ourselves about our own work and our own strengths and our own opportunities to elevate. And it's not always clear. One of our listeners wrote in this week, and maybe we can start by addressing her confusion to sort of set up all the things we wanted to share today. She wrote in saying that she's been listening and absorbing everything she can, and she's identified herself as a people pleaser. So she's trying to be more conscious of, not over-giving, giving people space, setting healthier boundaries. But at the same time, she's heard us say that we're here to become like the Creator. And the Creator is an endless force of giving and sharing. So on one hand, we're telling her not to overgive, but on the other hand, we're telling her to be a giver. Where's the balance? How do you course correct when you realize that on one hand, you're here to grow in your giving, but on the other hand, it's actually easier for you to give than it is to even say no. So let's start with understanding giving as a tool and how to not be an overgiver and use it for the wrong reasons.
So I think it's a good question to start, and I would phrase it, why do we give? Because we all have a lot of things to give to, or different ways to give, or how to give. But what is unique about the Kabbalistic consciousness is connecting to the why. And if the why is not coming from the right place, the real intention, then giving not necessarily will help the receiver, will help the giver, and will help the world. Because one of the statements that I remember from the Rav Berg that said, if you are coming from the right intention, from the real why, from the intention of the higher level of your soul, we have 3 levels of our soul, nefesh, ruach, and neshama. If I'm accessing the highest level of the soul, the pure intention, that giving will bring light and blessings to the receiver, to the giver, and to the world. So what is the real why? And here is the contradiction. Giving is about helping other people, but the core intention behind giving is raising my consciousness. And by me raising my consciousness, I'm actually raising the consciousness of the receiver and the whole world. And it sounds selfish. but bear with me for a second. So, everything that we do, we want to receive energy in return. That's human nature. Why? Because we are still a vessel. We are a receiver. We are not totally being of light that need nothing to receive. We are a vessel, we need energy in return. So when we're asking the question, why are you giving? What do you want in return? There's two options. I want in return temporary relief, to feel good about myself, to please someone that as a result they'll think good thing about me, just to be accepted, to relieve guilt, to have some sense of control, to remove insecurities. This is one reason I'm giving. I'm giving and I want from that giving to receive some external energy that will make me temporarily feeling better. What is the sole reason of giving? And Rav Ashlag defined it very simple. Every time I am actually doing a giving without an agenda to receive anything from the receiver, or not because I care what people think of me. My real intention is every giving with the help of that pure action, I will receive light that will elevate my consciousness, that will elevate my vibration to be a pure channel. And actually every action of giving time, giving money, giving care, giving through prayers, giving through listening, giving when it's comfortable, giving especially when it's uncomfortable, it's actually raising our vibration to be aligned to the highest level of our soul, which what is the highest level of our soul? Pure heart. I want to give only for the sake of alignment with the Creator. I want to give that I can be a pure channel, to be a conduit of the flow of the Creator through me. So I want to give that I can be actually purer in my giving. I want to give that I can be actually one with the light of the Creator, which that's my destiny in this world. What about people giving me anything back? As long as I'm attached to that, as long as I'm attached to, I'll be recognized, I'll be liked, then I'm missing the real opportunity of giving. So there's two things. Number one, with real intention of giving, has to be really interested to add value to the other person or to the world or to whatever cause I'm giving to. And sometimes giving would be to say no because I'm not adding value by saying yes. So I really care about what's the best for them in the best knowledge that I have. And personally for me, I don't want anything in return from this world. I want the real return, aligning with the higher level of my soul, becoming a greater pure channel of love, channel of giving, in touch, being of kindness, being of giving. Elisheva?
I'm listening to your answer and I'm thinking about this email that we received, and I hope that for each person we can now hear what you're saying and pass it through the filter of our agenda, right? What is it that I want when I give? Maybe I just want to be a good person. A lot of people give because it feels good and don't realize that the good feeling that they get is nothing compared to what they can receive from their giving if they change their motivation, change their intention from it feels good, I enjoy doing it, to I want nothing in return on this plane, and just want the blessing that comes from being in alignment, being in a greater state of oneness, affinity with source, and also realizing that part of what amplifies the light in any given action of giving is to the degree that I can operate against my agenda. So this person who's now, I mean, hopefully with the reflection process, we can identify, for example, if we're a people pleaser, recovering people pleaser. So the reality is a person who people pleases is usually afraid to say no, or doesn't want to lose their value or their purposefulness, their utility, doesn't want to be not needed anymore. So they continue to overgive so that their presence is needed. The trust that's required, and we always talk about how you have to be really, I think, honest with yourself to be able to say, I don't want my security, my status, my life's meaning to come from people needing me. I'm meant for bigger things. I'm meant for greater things. And to trust that if I let go of the old me, the yes man, the person who can't say no, if I let go of that part of my identity, what will emerge from behind it? That's the scary part, right? That's the risk, and being willing to take that risk actually increases the blessing that's generated through being a giver.
Beautiful. So it's interesting. In one hand, of course, I would love the blessings of the Creator. And of course, I would love blessings from life that comes from the Creator. But if I'm too caught up with what I'm going to get, or the pain that I'm going to get if I will give, or if I'll say no, which for some people who are people pleaser, it's the giving, then I'm going to get actually nothing. And for me, one of the indications I'm not giving from the right why and intention, the right intention, is when I'm drained. When I'm drained after I'm giving energy, I'm asking myself, what happened? And then at times I said, I just wanted to fix the situation, to control the situation, and I didn't actually question myself, am I coming from the right place? Is it the right thing to do? I wanted to get over with that chore or obligation. Then I will be drained, because drain is indication that I'm not connecting to the light of the Creator. Or when I'm getting upset, when I'm not going to be appreciated, it's also indication for me, even though I didn't have agenda to get thank you, but the fact that I'm spending too much time being upset, I was not appreciated, for me it's indication I didn't come from actually the pure place. Because the fact I'm upset, it means unconsciously I expected something in return from here. So it's a good question to ask ourselves. And by the way, that's the process, what we call purification. Coming from a pure heart. That's what this weekly portion is about. Coming from a pure heart. What is a pure heart? The giving is the receiving already. For the light, there's no time. If I'm coming from the right place right now, I connected to purity, I connected to elevation, and the blessings will manifest itself. I don't have to worry about it. But if my heart is anticipating things that I'm going to get, then I'm not coming from the pure heart. So what do I really want in return? Do I want appreciation? Do I want to relieve guilt? Do I want just to feel better about myself by saying yes? Or the reason I'm not giving, is it because it's just uncomfortable for me? It is lazy? Am I coming with excuses why now it's not the right thing to give? So questioning it, it's essential. What do I want in return? Do I want in return? Absolutely yes. Think about us now in this podcast, Elisheva. What do we actually want in return? What do you want in return now?
I want the world to be more full of light, less pain, suffering, chaos, and death.
And what do you want for you?
That's a really good question. I also want, I think that if the world is a brighter place, it means that my own personal piece of the world is a brighter place. That by helping people connect to their own abilities to be the cause, their own creator nature within, that I will be blessed by the light that results from that. I can't say I have a specific, I want the light to go to healing, I want the light to go to anything specific. Rather, I don't know, in a way I kind of fight for these opportunities to help people learn and connect and become the co-creators of their transformation and healing and fulfillment, because I know, actually it's in this, it's in this week's portion, this week's Zohar section talks about how that giving somebody the tools, holding the hand of someone and helping them get connected to this wisdom of self-empowerment and creatorship, that's the thing that reveals the most light in the world. I want that light, selfishly, I guess, in a way. I want that light, but how that light expresses itself or where it goes, I'm not attached.
That's beautiful. So I'll tell you, for me, first, it's beautiful that you mentioned, because that's one of the most powerful verses in the Zohar that I love. When the Zohar said, a person that chases after those who are blind to the light and blind to their purpose in life, and helping them from the heart without agenda, is bringing so much light to the world, but the Zohar said as well, and so much purification and cleansing for the giver itself. And I'll tell you what my agenda as far as purification and cleansing. I know that any discomfort and pain and anxieties that I have in my life coming from one source: lack of total trusting of the Creator. And I know every time I'm giving with the agenda to truly share, what I'm getting in return is purification of my heart that needs some control and greater level of surrender. I can pray for surrender. I can pray for greater trusting and faith and certainty in the Creator. But every time we give with the right intention, and I know it in my life, it's releasing some control and allowing greater trust. And that's greater reward in me than what anybody else will tell me. Because I know the source of all pain of humanity and the source of pain in myself is when I'm worried what's going to be with me. The biggest reward I would like for my giving is the gift of the Creator that purifies my heart and will help me to feel you are taken care of. Because any pain in our life is from worrying what's going to be with me. Because when I'm worried, I'm shutting down the Creator. And like all of you, I'm a human that's going through the process of transformations. And as long as in this world, it means I need to release these illusionary worries. And that's one of the biggest gifts for me to truly give, to release this uncertainty that causes overthinking. And as a result, causing pain. Nothing else causes pain in our life.
It's interesting because I feel, at least for you and I, we are surrounded, one of the, within the Kabbalah Centre community, there is this culture of giving, a culture of sharing. And I often think about the opportunity to give, right? Let's say, for example, regardless of where you are in the world and your profession and your period in life, you have opportunities throughout the day to give, right? If somebody actually says to you, do you have 5 minutes? Do you have 20 minutes? Can I get your advice on something? Could you look this over? Can you help me move, I don't know, a piece of furniture? To even bigger things, right? To work on a particular project, to help out in the community, to volunteer some time. Given what we've shared now about intention and what giving can do for us when the highest intention is there and when we're focused on, using giving for the right reasons as an opportunity to grow and to transform and to cleanse, how do we know if a particular opportunity is really meant for us or if we're supposed to pass it to someone else? Because one of the things that I found as well is that being a giver doesn't mean doing every single thing that comes my way. Sometimes it means empowering another person to do that action or to share in that way. Sometimes, like we said before, sometimes saying no is the kindest thing you can do in that moment. So where is the line between I want every opportunity I can to share to practicing some discernment around what's for me to do and what just needs to get done and anybody can do it?
So the other weekend, I had a married to be with Michael and Monica Berg in the Spiritually Hungry retreat in Mexico. And one of the things they spoke about, one of the concepts they spoke about, connecting to your purpose. And there's a lot of thinking and desire around, I want to do what I meant to do, it that big thing that will make a difference in the world, that's unique for me. And what Michael and Monica brought it down to, which I like it, is let's connect to what you can do today. And if my intention at the beginning of the day, before I'm starting my day, please the Creator, allow me to serve. Allow me to elevate through kindness, through gesture, through time, through money. Allow me. And I want to connect with those opportunities you are presenting to me today and allow me to recognize what belongs to me. And I look at this as opportunities. It's all mindset. Is it just chore? Then it's not from your heart. Is it opportunity? It's from your heart. And even though it's a little bit uncomfortable, then you turn it, it's opportunity. So the fact that you have that intention, each one of us according to our own level, it will resonate. It feels the right thing for me. And does it mean it will be comfortable? No, because we still have a free will. I know, I feel it's the right thing to do, but I'm uncomfortable. Or something doesn't resonate here. Knowing your tikkun, knowing your life lesson, knowing your correction, you know that sometimes you should pause before you jump and say yes, that you might even regret it. And you change the plans of taking care of yourself, of your family for the sake of giving. And we're not saying it's not the right thing to do sometimes, but it's all relative to the individual. That's the reason at the end of the day, there is no rule book that tells you you should give 7 times a day, 10 times a day. That's when you should say yes. That's when you should say no. You should be honest with yourself and ask the Creator, allow me to serve. Allow me to be your channel. Allow me to grab this opportunity that I can extend my light, my energy, my care, and make an effort and elevate. Each one of us meant to be light that elevate. And it's not about small or big. It's about being intentional. And how do you know you are really in the right place? You feel, wow, I feel so fortunate. I had the blessing to do it. It's not just I'm entitled. I'm better now. So that's what I would start with. setting intention, allow me to serve. And then what about my big picture purpose? I'm supposed to have 1,000,000 people. There's some big givers from the Talmud that used to just make shoemakers, that anybody that was wearing their shoes was flying and thinking about the Creator. So I know when I came to the Kabbalah Center many, many years ago, I asked, I want to volunteer, doing something. And one thing led to another. And then they asked me to give a class. Did I think that's what I want to do and that's what I meant to do? One thing led to another. Grab the opportunities that come in your way.
It's funny, you remind me of a story, a situation that happened to me years ago when I first started to volunteer in the Kabbalah Center many, many years ago. I used to do like registration. People would come to class and I would take attendance, greet them, how are you, classroom 2. And, after a few years I moved, and then I moved again, and I moved to a different city. And when I came back, probably about 10 years later, we had an international event, and I ran into someone at the international event that had been taking classes when I had started 10 years before. And he said to me, if not for you being at the registration desk 10 years ago, I wouldn't be here today. Wow. And I said, how could you say that? All I did was ask your name. And he said, no. There was a time where his mother was in the hospital. She was very ill. She ended up recovering, but it was a really hard time for him. And he said, every week I would ask, how's his mom, and let him know that we're praying for him and for her. And he said that was everything to me. And that's how I knew I would, I'm not sharing it so that everybody will say, hey, great job. But rather, I didn't what I said to him when I said it, I honestly didn't even remember. But my intention in taking those couple hours a week to volunteer was exactly what you said. I wasn't there because it was a popularity contest. I wasn't there because I was getting paid or it looks good or it's going to be nice on my resume. I genuinely wanted the opportunity to be there for the sole sake of someone else, to take time out of my day to just be in service. And to realize that tiny little thing that was so insignificant had such an impact was a big moment for me, because I was used to the big moments being meaningful. And it really showed me how the tiniest, most insignificant, seemingly insignificant exchanges can be life-altering for people. So hopefully as we go into this month of Pisces, the new moon is this Friday and Saturday, and Pisces tend to be, the reputation is that they're very nice people, they're very kind people, they're very giving people, but not always with the purest of intentions or the genuine desire to care and to give. It often comes from insecurity, needing to be needed and things like that. So I think part of the beauty of this conversation is we go into this month of giving. It's not only a week of giving, it's really for the Kabbalists a month of opportunities to give, that we'll have this mindset and we'll be clear on our own intentions this week so that we can get the most out of the coming month. I also wanted to take a moment to talk to our listeners about something that's coming up in a couple weeks that I hope nobody will miss the boat on this one.
It's not a couple of weeks, it's actually next week.
Oh my goodness.
March.
Okay, so about 10 days. We'll give them 10 days if you're listening on Monday. On Tuesday, March 4th. You're right. I'm sorry. Time flies. We are starting a new course that is called Limitless. And the tagline is manifest your highest self through the wisdom of Kabbalah. And if you've been listening, whether this is your first episode or your 1,000, or we haven't done 1,000 yet, 301st episode, you know that every episode is all about introducing our listeners to Kabbalistic concepts in a practical and understandable way so that you can use it in your day-to-day lives. The Limitless course is 10 weeks of deepening that, not only the connection to the wisdom, but the connection you have to yourself, that you will again, in addition to what you already may be doing, you may have already a spiritual practice, a religious affiliation. You may already be deeply rooted in mindfulness and consciousness. What we're going to talk about in these 10 weeks takes you even deeper through the writings of the Kabbalists, teachings from our lineage. It's 10 sessions. There's an immersive workshop practice. There's an online community, course workbook, weekly challenges. It's really designed to help you live these teachings and bring them into your lives in a way that you will manifest greater awareness, greater sense of connection, greater meaning and purpose, not only in the big picture scheme of things, but like we were talking about before, in those little seemingly insignificant moments, realizing that they can move you in or out of alignment with your soul, with the light of the Creator. And I am just so excited that we have this opportunity. So I'm going to put the link to sign up in the show notes on weeklyenergyboost.com and all over social media. Eitan, you want to share a couple words about it?
Yes, I'm excited, especially because I'll be teaching that course. And we prepared it for months. Actually, Elisheva helped me. And together with other teachers, we actually prepared this course for a while. It will be close to an hour and a half a week. And giving you tools and practices and daily intention every day of the week. And each class will include workshop, meditation, journaling, reflection, and breakthroughs. Some of you never took any course of Kabbalah. It will be amazing for you. Some of you, or maybe took Kabbalah 1, but wants to get from a deeper practice and actually take the teachings to a different level. From class number 1, we're starting to learn about the different levels of the soul and how to activate him. So it's exciting for everyone. It's opportunity also, we speak about giving. Share with your friends. The greatest gift you can give to other friends. Share with them the opportunity to connect with the light, to learn what life is about. It's the biggest gift you can share with your friends. So please, Elisheva, let's share the link. 10-week course starting March 4th, Eastern Time, 7 p.m. every Tuesday.
It's very exciting. It's revolutionary for us as well, because we've never offered such depth in a level 1 course. We've usually, we get deep, but usually the beginning, it's a little bit of an introduction to an introduction. As Eitan said, we're talking about levels of the soul, deep soul correction patterns, really learning how to unblock and unlock not only patterns from this lifetime, but patterns from previous lifetimes. It's really powerful. And I hope you can join us. We'll have that, like I said before, on weeklyenergyboost.com in the show description. So if you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, you can click the link through there. On our website, you'll find the links, and you can always reach out to us with any questions, suggestions, ideas you may have. On weeklyenergyboost.com, you'll find our archives and the donate button so you can support our podcast. But as always, the best thing you can do to support us is to share every episode. Find the people that you think need to hear it. Maybe they're not even open to the fact that they need to hear it. Share it. And of course, share the opportunity to take this course with Eitan, the Limitless course that begins on March 4th. We'll see you next week on the Weekly Energy Boost.
So